Good day everybody, welcome back to another Plathunt update. In today's video we've got version 1.4. And version 1.4 brings a whole set of new features. It includes a trophy tips feature, a game leaderboard, a trophy leaderboard, a trophy tips feed, and a lot of things with trophies. So that's also always good. So I want to quickly go over this. So let me just quickly access my profile right here. So first things first, I'm going to dive into a game. So let's just pick God of War Ascension, for example. Now, as some of you might notice or might remember, last time there used to be a timeline feature here. Do not worry, my friends, because this timeline feature is not gone. It is located now on this button. So actually I've integrated the timeline with the list because here you can see which trophies you've unlocked, and obviously it is also tied to the times and So you can actually click on this button right here, and it will show you the timeline like we're used to. So it's definitely not gone. Do not worry about it. It is just being relocated. That is one thing. Second thing I want to go over is the brand new leaderboard. So when you click on this button, you can actually see how many players are on the leaderboards. These are the timestamps from first achievers, because by default it will stay on the first achievers. Now, if you click on this button or this drop down, drop down will display. And from here, you actually can access two things. You can access fastest achiever and recent achiever. So I'm going to click on the fastest achiever here. This is actually the time computed from the first trophy to your last trophy. You can see some people have been completing this in a very fast time. So the good news about this, because we compute this now, we can actually also utilize this on the game card. So if I go back to my profile, for example, it also now states how long it took before I completed this game, and I think that's a really nice addition. It's like way better than showing just completed. I think that statistic is way more valuable. So yeah, that's definitely a sweet improvement. You can also navigate to recent achievers. Is one of the other. It's basically the first achievers reversed, to give you a good idea who has recently accomplished or completed this game. Now that is it for the generic leaderboard. Now I'm not sure if you guys already noticed. Probably we also have now a hover effect over these trophies. Which means one thing, we actually can interact with this. You can also see the hand icon. So I'm going to click on this one, and right now you can actually go one layer deeper. This was not there before. So what this is right now, it shows you by default also a leaderboard on who was the first achiever for this specific trophy. You can also change it to recent achievers here, see who was the last achiever with that trophy. But more importantly is the brand new tips feature. So this is actually a very big update for the platform. It's actually the first type of user generated content here. So that's where actually people can actually write tips about certain trophies, share tips and strategies. So I'm actually going to do a little bit of a test run here. I'm actually gonna type in some jargon, and I'm gonna up. And as you can see, while I'm typing, you can actually see the counter going down. Now, I've initially decided, I want tips to be concise. I want tips to be, straight to the point. No, it's not a guide. So, you definitely want that. That's what a tip is about. Short pieces of information, and not like very long bits of text. But while I was writing some tips myself for certain games, I actually came to the conclusion, man, 500 is really is really low. It felt really cramped, and I actually got this feedback as well from some other users. So this is definitely something we are going to improve in a new build. I've been thinking about increasing it to maybe 2000. I probably have to cut it off somewhere, but it definitely gives you a bit more leeway. But yeah, it might feel a little bit cramped so far, but it's an ongoing process. We're trying to improve every day, so nothing is set in stone. But yeah, it's definitely it's getting better and better. So once you've written the tip and you are happy with what you wrote, you can actually click on this post. Now I'm not gonna do that obviously, because the system is in full motion right now. What I can do though is show you a few tips that I've been writing. And one of them would be this one, for example. You can actually see a notification to, or like an icon. It shows you the amount of tips it includes. So I'm just gonna navigate a bit to this. I can actually this is something I've wrote like 2 weeks ago. It states as well. It shows you a time. That's essentially what happens when you write a tip and you click on post. Now, also want to address that I've disabled the possibility to up or down vote yourself, obviously, because maybe in the future I want to have something with like a system in play where you can see how many upvotes or downvotes you have. I'm not sure if you can call it a currency. I think in most things it's called like a karma system or something. And if you can upvote all of your own tips, then that's definitely heavily influenceable. So definitely not going to do that. But yeah, you can actually utilize this breadcrumb as well to quickly navigate from any deeper nested trophies and pages towards your profile again. So that is basically it for the tips feature. Now, you might also have noticed this, but the tips are also located in the nav bar. So I'm going to click on this right now. And basically what this shows is a tips feed. So this is all the trophy tips that have been written by the community. We can see there's also quite a bit already. So thank you guys very much. I appreciate that. It's really nice to see the community writing all these tips. And yeah, you can actually interact with these tips as well. So let's, for example, I'm just gonna take this one. You can actually do things here, two things here. I can actually click on this avatar, which navigates to the profile, or I can actually click on this entire block and it will navigate to this specific trophy tip. Now that is one little thing I'd like to address here. So what I'm gonna do right now, I am going to click on a trophy tip from someone else. So Punisher recently wrote something about strikers. Very nice. And as you can see, I do not own this game. So right now I'm also logged in, it's my session, So one of the technical constraints right now is that we do not have a dedicated games or trophy page. And because of this, I can also not link it to, if you write a tip on some other game, there were a lot of technical issues with it. So we can also see this when I click on someone trophy tip, it actually navigates to their specific path. So ideally, obviously, we want to give people the entire freedom to write any tip on any game. That's also the main goal. But in order to do that, I basically have to deconstruct, put everything, from because this is all generic. It's all generic information. Like leaderboards and tips should not be. It doesn't belong on a user path. It belongs somewhere on a generic page. That's what we're currently going to do in the next build. We're going to decouple everything from the user path, and we're going to build a dedicated game and trophy page. And from that point on, you can also write tips on any game you want. So this is only going to be temporarily. I just want to address that a little bit, So yeah, that's right now you can only write tips on games you actually own for the time being. But yeah, we'll definitely fix that in the future. As you can see, this is obviously someone else's tip because I can now also vote and downvote this. Yeah, before I couldn't do that. So yeah, you can definitely vote on other people, but not on yourself. So that is really the thing. So I'm going back to the home now. Finally, the last few things, we can also see a total counter here. Join the community. This is now also got the Plathunt logo. And if I click on this, I can also quickly navigate to the tips. It's basically the amount of tips written by the community. Finally, I think I've had most of the things. The recent profiles visited, I've also moved this one because it used to be on the bottom right somewhere, and it wasn't really noticeable. But right now you can, it's so much better. You can actually click here. You can actually see all these profiles. I'm gonna click on this, and it auto navigates to that profile. Okay, that is it for this version. The next version is the dedicated database with the games and trophy pages. It's already in full motion as we speak. I do not have an ETA. I expect a few weeks. I definitely have to put more, time into the design and the technical aspect. There's still some challenges ahead, but we're making really good progress so far. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more, I would say. There's a lot more coming, and it's gonna be better and better every day. I can promise you that. So thank you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.